Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We're going to talk about binging as promised at the end of the last episode in this series about 2020 transitions. And the reason this is hot on my mind right now, Adam, is I just did a podcast with Dr. Corey Probst, our health psychologist at the Diet Doc, our wellness director. And we spent a long time. We relaxed into kind of a feature-length podcast and really talked about some of the ins and outs of binge eating. And I think one of the biggest takeaways for this particular audience who is dealing with the pandemic delays in our contest schedule, there is a melding, a merging of the physiological elements and variables in binge eating with the psychological. And as we mentioned last time, when you physically are getting down to a pretty low level of body fat, just as an evolutionary impulse, you're going to have stronger urges to consume food. I've done this. I've had some bad cycles of dieting where I just felt too much pressure and I was dieting too hard, doing too much cardio. And as somebody who normally has all of the discipline and control in the world, there are times where I just fell apart and I didn't even know who I was in these moments of just frenzied eating. And psychologically, as I see people get frustrated and take their eye off the ball a little bit in frustration with these delays, Adam, I'm starting to see that happen a little bit more often. So let's talk about some of the ways that we can remedy this.
Yeah, I have had this. I've had a few clients. My show got canceled, and I decided to have pizza and ice cream. And good for you. I don't know if I'd call that a binge. That seems very pre-deceived to pick up the phone and call and have it delivered. But those feelings are there, and those feelings are kind of always there. It's just human nature to want to survive. And that's what our body tells us to do, and that's why dieting is so hard. So the biggest thing is, and you taught me this a long time ago, is dividing dividing physiology and psychology. And do you feel that bad that you have to go over an intake? That means we might need a change in plan. Or do you think you feel that bad that you have to do that? That might mean we need a change in thinking. And that is really important to teach your clients and try to help nudge them to learn how to divide those two thoughts and those two feelings, because they're definitely completely different from each other. And this is how we can help accommodate you with a better plan. And nothing's worse than working with a client and finding out that, maybe for the past 3 months they've been binging, but they have been making some progress. And nothing's worse than having someone stuck and they've been binging and they haven't been making progress. And then you do everything you can to find out and you just can't find it.
Yeah, that's a really good point on just making sure that okay, maybe that meal off was good for you. And of course, working with your coach or, just discussing it with yourself with less emotion, if you're handling your own nutrition, can be, part of a predicated plan. This is exactly what I needed to do at the moment. I need to, get myself down the road a little bit further. So I have the need for a little extra food. But I do want to say, in the physiology of those moments of hunger where you just feel like I have to do this, you still have to think logically. And so that's a place in your brain you have to realize, okay, I'm acting from literal brain stem impulse, the lowest level of our human existence, to eat this food. I know I could be justified in doing that, but does it really align with my goals? Am I going to die if I don't? Can I take that thought process into my cerebral cortex and say, you know what? I really just ate 90 minutes ago or 2 hours ago, or my next meal is in 45 minutes. Maybe I can wait. And of course I'm feeling this way because my blood sugar is low. But what if I just lay down for a minute, drink a little water, take a walk? Those are still those moments you do have control, as hard as it is. And I just think this blend of psychological frustration and then physiologically some people having to draw out their dieting plans a little bit is the perfect storm for this to happen. But I'll mention this, Adam. Dr. Corey Probst and I just did a podcast in the Diet Doc Life Mastery podcast So we'll leave the link in this one for you guys if you need a little extra information. But any final words on how you're helping people through this and understand that we still have to have some good semblance of control?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned blood sugar because this is something I did with a client recently. I felt like her hunger cues were just really off and it was more psychological. So we started having her test blood sugar when she felt like that urge was coming to overeat. And she sent it to me and she was 110. And I said, what does that tell you? And she goes, that I'm not fasted yet. And I said, exactly. And I said, now, that doesn't mean you don't feel hungry by any means, but I said, this really shows us what's happening inside your body, and we can use that biofeedback to say, okay, maybe I should have a meal now before I drop into being fasted, but since I'm already working off of that last meal, maybe I don't need to have as much as I think. And that has actually been a really great data cue that I've been able to use for her.
Good. Yeah, it certainly gave her that indication, at least, that she's safe.
Yep.
And sometimes even with a little bit lower blood sugar, you can say, okay, my body's not done catching up. I'm converting body fat to blood sugar, maybe because I just trained 30 minutes ago, and I just need to wait a little bit, and it'll come up naturally. But a really, really good point, Adam. And you guys stick around because we're going to wrap this up in the next episode, talking about exactly how you can still make this your best season ever.